welcome to Berry Connected, our September support group, and tonight's topic is keeping mental health to a priority. Simple ways to practice self-care each and every day. As you join, make sure and say hello, whether you're on the live or the replay. Leave us a message and let us know that you're with us, and we appreciate you guys being here. So this podcast was created for bariatric surgery patients and people that are just wanting to be more mindful in their lifestyle. Today we're going to be talking about a topic that's near and dear to my heart, and that's bariatric surgery that helps give us an extra nudge to shed the unwanted pounds. But what happens, whenever we're going through all of those changes post-surgery? We're varying our portion size, our hunger signals are changing, and what happens when we find there's more to surgery than just those physical changes? So we're going to be talking about transforming our whole self, the whole part of who you are. So not only just the physical body, but the mental body, the emotional body, and the spiritual body. We're talking about the whole self, and we're going to be really focusing in on the mental aspect. So here we're going to talk about some simple ways to just basically feel happier in your everyday lifestyle. And some of those things that we're going to be kind of touching on is self-care, mindfulness, how to relax the nervous system. We're going to be sharing a little bit about some other things such as like aromatherapy, journaling, nature, movement, promoting brain health, investing in your social connections. And I have lots of handouts for this session, and I'm going to kind of tell you how to join. We got all kinds of great people here with us. Hi Marlene, hi Dorothy, hi Ryan, hi Maggie, hi Carolyn, hi Lori, Nadia, Heidi, Lori, Terry. Anybody else that's coming in, please feel free to continue to say hi. There is a Q&A button. If you're on the live event, feel free to post there. I'll be trying to watch for questions all along the way. And if you're here for attendance and you're on the live event and you're within a week post watching, if you're within that week of our live event and you're watching the replay on our on-demand, know that your attendance will be sent to your bariatric program if your bariatric program is enrolled in our attendance. If they're not enrolled and you want me to send attendance, I'd be happy to do so. I'll put my email here. It's Hain, my last name, HOEHNB at ProCareNow.com. So glad you guys are here. Excited. So let's get started. I'm going to actually first share with you how to access handouts. So we're going to go to our ProCare Health website, which is ProCareNow.com. Again, ProCareNow.com. And when you get there, you're going to go over to the tab that says Berry Connected. Okay, and under that tab there's several different resources. We're going to go down to the third thing that says support group handouts, and when you click on there will be the title of the presentation is Keeping Mental Health a Priority, and you'll find 4 different handouts. I have them all pulled up for us here. If you're listening to the replay and on the podcast, just know that you will be able to access those. You do not have to have them pulled up for the presentation. No big deal. Just listen in and enjoy, okay? Just want to kind of give you a shout out where that is. So this presentation is sponsored by ProCare Health, so I want to give them a shout out. Known for being one of the least expensive bariatric multivitamins on the market. They were the first to create a 1-a-day multivitamin, so very innovative in that. And some of my favorite products are found on this site. So we'll talk about that a little later. Right now I'm going to kind of jump in and get us started. So I'm going to stop sharing my screen once more. And it looks like we have more people joining, so hello. Okay, you're going to see me sharing my screen here. And I am going to be popping on to the presentation. So hopefully you guys can see that. I'm going to be moving some things around on my screen just a little bit so that I can make sure I see any new chats that are coming through. And I'll be going over all the Q&A that's posted in the live event as we go through it. I'll be kind of keeping an eye on that too as well. So let's see what we have there. Okay, so today's presentation again is keeping mental health a priority, simple ways to practice self-care each and every day. Before we start, I just want to kind of tell you why this topic is near and dear to my heart. Were any of you guys at the Obesity Health Conference that was just this past weekend? If so, let me know. I'd love to know if you were there. I actually was a speaker on a panel, and I talked about a holistic living. And this presentation has some of the same points that I presented on, but also a few others as well. I just want to say why it's near and dear to my heart. So my background is in hospital settings. So before I worked for ProCare Health, I worked for in several different hospitals, one of which I worked in my beginning of my career. I worked in an emergency department, actually several of them over about a 20-year span. And during that time is whenever I found myself really needing to make mental health a priority and making myself a priority. I in that role, in the roles that I worked there, I first started as a secretary, then I was a tech. Then I became a nurse. Then I worked quality management in their admin team. And I saw so many different scenarios, you know, people from little bitty tiny babies all the way up to adults that were, you know, 101 years old. Anywhere from car accidents to people having a heart attack to people having strokes to people having, you know, any kind of thing under the sun you can imagine. Lots of trauma. And because of my personality, I don't know if anybody else ever experiences this, but I'm very, very intuitive and very sensitive, and I could I would feel the pain of these everyday things that were going on. It was difficult for me because although that can be a real benefit to people because I can be very compassionate, but when you're living in a situation like that and you're feeling all that every day, I had to find a way to bring balance to my own body. I feel like that's part of what contributed to my weight gain. You know, I also had weight loss surgery back in 2012, and I found that that was a real blessing, by the way. I had the VSG surgery, and it's been incredible, not only because I've learned how to be healthier, but I've also found so many of you in the community and love each of you. It looks like I do have a couple more people that's joined, so I want to say hello to them. And hello, Pamela. Hello, Robert, Michelle, and Lovey. I'm glad to see you guys all here. So this topic became near and dear to my heart because I needed a way. I was searching for ways to balance my body. And I came up on some incredible teachings, and that was through a program I learned from called Healing Touch program, which is kind of teaches you about energy medicine. I learned through the Healing Beyond Border program and learned a lot about what I'm going to call energy medicine. So I'm going to bring some of those tools and techniques in here. I became certified as a practitioner. It took me about 4 or 5 years to do that certification because there's 5 levels, and it was incredible. So some of what I'm going to be teaching may be stuff you've heard before. Some of it may be a little new. So be open-minded. I mean, I can tell you it's helped me in so much. So I told you about me being working in the emergency department. After I did that, I knew I had to incorporate some of these things into my lifestyle, and I was looking for a role to help with kind of just like educating. My master's degree is in nursing and in education, and I wanted to be able to teach that effectively. So I became a certified life coach and really just an advocate for bariatric patients. I love working in the bariatric field. I worked as a coordinator for about 8 years in a bariatric surgery program out of Missouri before ProCare. And right now, ProCare, what I'm doing is a lot of these type of events where I share lots of information on all kind of topics related to bariatric surgery. So just kind of keep going. So the very first thing we're going to talk about is self-care. And guys, really and truly, self-care is not about being selfish at all. One of those things that I learned through my own journey is putting myself first can be one of the most incredible things. Like, what is the most important to you? Asking yourself that every single day. Like, what is the most important thing for me? Is it physical activity? Is it eating the right kinds of foods, like nourishing your body? Is it giving yourself some type of fun or enjoyment? We forget sometimes that to schedule, a little bit of that into our days, scheduling time for ourselves to have something fun to look forward to. It's preventative medicine. And so, as I mentioned before, with working in the hospital setting and emergency departments, I knew that there had to be a lot more to life than just fixing things on the back end, like always just putting band-aids on things and treating with medications. Now, I'm not saying those things are bad. Bariatric surgery has been an amazing, incredible thing, and there's been medications that's helped me along the way too. But in the long run too, there's also ways to incorporate, all of these great things into our lifestyle every day so that we don't have to always rely on the in term of having to have care that's after the fact, that's not preventative. And so we're going to talk a little bit here about mindfulness. So what I like to teach is a little something called flip the switch. And what that looks like is, whenever our mind starts going a little crazy, sometimes it's good for us to slow it down. And by that, what I mean is to kind of come back into your center, like back into your heart, and come in resonance with that. And so, I talked about energy medicine. Here, what I'm talking about is coming into the vibration and frequency of what I like to call 0 point, or no resonance, no frequency, just like being just still. And that is like the real part of who we are. Like when we're in that state, we don't have all those hormones going crazy. With hormones, I mean like emotions, for example. Emotions can put us in these wide states of varying degrees of either escalation of feeling really good or de-escalation of feeling really bad. Balancing those out by flipping the switch. And what I mean by that is when you find yourself getting into a state of really high emotion, especially negativity, flipping the switch and finding something that just calms your nervous system down, like brings you back into more happiness. And so the ultimate thing is not necessarily to go from being really sad to really happy, but just finding a balance, like finding that in-between state. And sometimes it's just about talking yourself back into it. And that's why I find that affirmations can be helpful. I know sometimes I have heard, the negative, the positive about affirmations. The thing is in order for affirmations are little short statements that you can say out loud to change your mental state, okay? And so there are some great things to know about affirmations. I do have a handout. I'm going to kind of just share that here. It's a little busy, but just know it can be found on that because there's lots of affirmations I've written on my own self after years of studying on holistic health. I have some on health. I have some on life. These are all found on our website, guys, under Bari Connected. Affirmations on finance and work, affirmations on home, on relationships. And I'm going to read a couple of these, but before I do, I'm going to kind of stop sharing for just a second. I want to talk about why affirmations can be so darn helpful and how to use them in order for them to be effective. So number one, you want to like when you find yourself focusing on things you don't really want, the affirmation can be helpful in changing that mindset. Again, flipping the switch. And so you want them to be in a present tense because that's where the most powerful. Like I am true to myself. I am in my perfect weight. Now, sometimes these things may not feel completely accurate at the time that you say them. So you can say things like, I know it is possible for me to feel comfortable in my skin. I know it is possible for me to be energetic and vital. I know it is possible for me to be my perfect weight. I know it's possible to have integrity and character. You can say things like that. Those are some for health. The other thing I want to say is to just kind of slow down and just kind of breathe through it and like really feel it, in that emotional state. If you're feeling negativity when you're saying an affirmation, that's not really an affirmation that's going to be helping you. Okay? So finding a little way to tweak it. What I find the best affirmations is to find some statements that you're struggling with. Maybe you're struggling with confidence, or maybe you're struggling with bravery, or maybe you're struggling with getting out there in the world and doing certain things, shining your light and being that, because you guys, everybody needs your light. Every single person on this earth feels you and knows that you are that you're needed here. You wouldn't be here unless that was true. And so, the things that give us the most pain are the things to write an affirmation for. So like making your own list, like what right now are you struggling with? Make a small list of that, or maybe even just one sentence, and then find an affirmation to feel better. So maybe you're not feeling very loved. Maybe your affirmation would be, I am loved and lovable. Or maybe you're feeling kind of fearful and that your weight gain may recur or something like that. And maybe you could say something like, I'm protected in every moment. So, those are some things, like you reversing what you want to say and finding a way to feel a little better about things. Maybe if it's on finance or your work situation, maybe you feel small. Maybe you could say, I brighten a room as I walk in, or I am comfortable between creative activities. You could say something like, my work fits me well. And what happens is you're going to find yourself being drawn into more and more situations. The thing is another pro tip for these affirmations is finding things that resonate really strongly with your heart. We can wish all day about things in the physical world that we want, maybe a new car, maybe it's a new house, unless those things really resonate with your heart and actually your life purpose. Sometimes it's hard to really creatively go out there and quote make those things happen. Things happen more easily when they just resonate with your heart. Anybody have anything to say that they'd like to share about that? Enid said, oh, hey, she said, I love affirmations. ProCare Health is the sponsor for today, is actually doing a whole body and soul campaign. And so I felt like this topic just fitted in really well with that, and basically just focusing on your body and soul. So affirmations can be super helpful in that way. Okay, guys. I'm just checking for comments and stuff. Okay, we're gonna kind of keep going. And I'm going to share my screen again. It's going to pop back on to this handout. So that is on affirmations. We're going to pop back over to the presentation. And we're going to talk a little bit about maybe if finding a way to feel better includes maybe tracking your food or feeling a little more in control. Some things you can do is download some apps. Download MyFitnessPal, or trying to think of some of the other ones that are Bariatric. That's another one. But download an app and start tracking, even if it's just for a day. Sometimes that makes me feel a little bit more in control. Also, maybe making a list. You guys are gonna laugh. Like I have lists all over the place. I don't know if you can see that with the camera. I like have all kinds of lists, like all my stuff that I want to do, whether it's personal, whether it's for work or whatever. I have lists. This is just my list for today, tomorrow. Um, I'm getting ready. We also have a conference next week that we're attending. I'm attending the OAC, Obesity Action Coalition Your Weight Matters Conference in Florida. Let me know if you're going to be at that. I'd love to see you there. So we're going to go on to another thing here is EFT tapping. So EFT tapping, anybody familiar with that? EFT tapping is basically emotional freedom technique. Okay, let's see. It looks like we got some comments here. Okay, Nancy says, perfect way to say why we choose what we choose. Yes. And Nadia says, I am affirmations app is pretty sweet. For $20 a year, I get access to tons of affirmations and set it an affirmation reminder every day. I actually have that too. I have that same one. I must have the free version because I don't think I pay for it, but it is pretty cool. Like this one here today, you probably can't see that because of the light, but it says, I am living my dream. But you can kind of scroll through them. Today I am shining. I choose to fall in love with myself each and every day. It just kind of sends you like a fun little thing. Thanks for bringing that up because that could be helpful to somebody. You know, it just kind of gives you a little way to remember. Michelle says, I like that. And oh, we have somebody who knows that they've done the EFT tapping before. Charity has. Enid says, I love that. So we'll keep going. I'm going to kind of switch on to the EFT tapping handout. Again, if you're listening, just listen. You don't have to worry about pulling this hand up. But the picture here I am showing does show different tapping points. Kind of describe them. So some very simple places for emotional freedom technique is the little areas right around your eyebrows, in between your like right above your eyes in the inner points. There's one right here on the top of your head, the sides of the eyes, right below under each eye, right, the area right below your nose, there's one point, right below your chin is one point, the areas of your collarbone is one point, and then under your arms. So as we're talking about, earlier I mentioned energy medicine, and in that there's all kinds of, basically the premise is that our bodies are made of energy. Like every single cell in our body is energy, and it looks solid, but really we're just many millions of particles of energy. So we're not really solid. So anything can be transformed, you guys. Anything, emotional, mental, physical, because we are energy. You know, things can be, nothing is set in stone. Anything can be transformed. When you think about a fire burning, you think about wood. And what happens is the energy from the wood turns into fire, turns into gases. And so it's just a different change of the energy. So energy is never created, it's just changed, you know. So one effective way to create balance in the body and retune responses are these trigger points, also called meridian points, is to do the emotional freedom technique. Okay, and what it does is it creates harmony by tapping on specific points of the body. These acupressure points are meridians, and basically helping to change a response in the body. Okay, so number one, first become aware of the trigger and the body's response to it. So let's say it's something emotional, because we're emotional or mental. Okay, because we're talking about, or that's what our topic is on today. So let's say maybe oh, that's a great question. Somebody asked, how do you know which points to tap on? It really doesn't matter. Just kind of guide yourself. It's really about just kind of pushing in the energy, like these thoughts, to access these energy points. So really the points aren't that helpful. You can actually alternate between the points. I'll kind of explain that a little better here in just a moment. And what you're going to want to do is find whatever is bothering you, whatever's ailing you. Like, let's say it's confidence, okay? So let's say you start with figuring that out. So on a scale of 1 to 10, 10 worst, how do you feel about that right now? Like, let's say your confidence level is only about a 5, okay? 10 would be the best. Or on this, I say 10 the worst. So whatever it is, 10 being that you're feeling really negatively affected by this confidence thing, like you don't feel like your confidence is anything at all. So maybe you're a 5. I'd say anything less than a 5 is probably not going to really generate too much enthusiasm for you to do some of these examples. But I mean, it could. But something that's really strong in your field, something that really relates to you and resonates with you and it means something to you. I feel like the things that mean the most to us are really what we're here for, guys. So if it's something strong and you know that you want to change it, then this exercise could help. Okay, so you would tap 3 to 4 times using a finger or a thumb on a meridian point and kind of slow down your breathing as you do it. So let's just try it. So like, let's say we're using the 2 points between our eyebrows. So we're just putting our fingers there and we're tapping and we're saying an affirmation word. So like, let's say ours is on confidence. So you could say, I know it's possible to feel confident. Then you could move to another point, maybe the outside of your eyes, outside of each of your eyes, and you could tap on that and say, I know that I have the ability to feel strong and brave. Then you could tap under your eyes and say, I know it's possible to feel good in my body. You could just repeat these same ones, or you could go down to your nose and say, I know. You could say the same affirmation word, or you could say a new affirmation word. If you're saying new ones each time, maybe it's helpful to write those down before you even do this exercise. But you could say, I know that I am able to feel good. I felt good before. I feel healthy. Maybe starting on under your chin, tapping and saying, I feel healthy right now. I am healthy right now. So you would just continue to do this exercise, each of these points, and then you could even do your collarbone on each point of your collarbone until you feel the response is lessened or gone. So let's stop sharing for just a second. I'm going to check comments. Anybody have any questions about that? Yeah, and I feel like it's one of those things that it just helps kind of release that terrible, strong feeling of emotion that you have and kind of brings it kind of to a more calm place. So some other things maybe like that might be helpful. Let's see. Okay. So like, let's say you're doing the confidence thing again. Let's do it again. You could use new ones or you could use the same ones. So maybe you used to even say something like, I'm true to myself. I feel free to be myself in whatever circumstances. I look and feel beautiful and healthy. I feel energetic and vital. I am comfortable in my skin. I am truthful to myself and others. And I just said these kind of fast. Actually, it may even be helpful to even slow down a little bit and kind of breathe through it and really feel it as you're saying these. So let's see. Okay. We're going to kind of keep going, guys. So I'm going to share my screen again. And we were on the EFT tapping. We're going to go back to the presentation and we're going to talk about just setting intentions. And really, I'm going to call it like setting your intentions for where you are in your next day. Okay? Because pre-paving, we're going to call it pre-paving. So like, let's say you want to feel good. You want to feel happy. You want to feel more at peace. You want your heart to be, in a stable place. You want to feel like your everyday flows smoothly. You want to have plenty of free time to do the things that you enjoy. So like think about what that might look like for your next day. You know, set your intentions and like really think about that for your next day. Maybe build a few little things, to-dos in. And if nothing else, maybe it's just setting time to even just stop and slow down. So with intention, clarify what you want. And I'm calling it segment intending. You know, it's a process where you define your intentions for the segment of day that you're moving into. It's about pre-paving your outcomes and focusing on your energy, what you want to achieve. And again, guys, I want to just stress, it's not about moving against the resistance really so much. It's about flowing more smoothly with it and kind of like just going down the stream. Like imagine yourself in an inner tube float and just floating down the stream. Everything you want is downstream, okay? Some of you may be followers out there for some of this information that I'm sharing. Let me know if you are, if you've heard this before. Also focusing your attention on the achievement of that desire. And not accidentally the opposite. So if you're focusing your attention on something like you're creating anxiety about something for the next day, you're thinking about, let's say, you're scared about how an interview might go, or you're nervous about how a relationship might work, you know, the next day. Maybe it's with your husband or your wife or a significant other, a friend, and you're worried about that. When you worry, guys, you're actually creating intention around that. You're not meaning to create intention, but you're pre-paving the way for something to happen that maybe you don't want to happen. So let's create miracles. Let's not focus on the things that are really truly hurt us. And I'm not saying that you can't. If something's really there and that's really hurting you and causing you a lot of pain, find a way to work through it. Like actually don't ignore it. I'm not telling you to ignore any of these things. I'm just saying where you do focus your energy does make a difference. If you need help with that issue, whatever it is, find ways to get help. Okay, Enid says, when you're feeling overwhelmed, the breathing technique helps. I've learned from you, Brenda. Thanks, Enid. That's super sweet. Yes, like slowing down your breathing. Like when you're doing these intentions and you're focusing your attention, like just slow down. Like just slow down. Like think about how it feels to take your breath from breathing in for 3 seconds to breathing out to 3 seconds to breathing in to 4 seconds to breathing out to 4 seconds. Just slowing down. Release your tension. So about the situation and allow goodness to flow. Enjoying the ride. That's what we're all here for. Okay, guys. So we're going to go on to the next slide. We're going to talk about relaxing the nervous system. So this is one of the biggest things for me. And what I want to say is, you know, all of those times of working in the hospital setting and working in busy jobs and roles, many of you probably can relate in your own life. Maybe you have children, you have families, and you're just running from activity to activity. Maybe it's your job. You feel like that you're like overwhelmed and overstressed. Maybe it's just in your to-do schedule. It's long and exhaustive. You know, what I would say is finding ways to bring your nervous system back into coherence with who you are, with the real you. So even you guys, even just a minute a day can actually make a difference. And not only for you, but it makes a difference for those people that are around you, because you do influence the people around you. And when your body is more relaxed and more centered, you can help other people be more relaxed and centered. They learn from you. So find the time. Again, just start with a minute a day if you need to, 2 minutes a day if you're able to, and build up from there. If you're able to do longer periods of times like 5, 10, or 20 minutes, that's great. You know, for me, I find my meditation time early morning before I get out of bed, or late at night whenever I lay down. You can use a meditation app like Calm or Headspace. I find YouTube super helpful because I can get on there and they always have like hundreds of meditations on any topic that you can imagine. There's lots of so meditation can mean a lot of things to a lot of different people. It could be breathing exercises. It could be visualization exercises. It could be, just listening to sound. Sound sometimes can bring us in resonance with our heart. And trial different techniques. It could be body scan, which is kind of like looking at different parts of your body that are hurting or having pain, and asking your body what it needs. The mindful breathing I mentioned, walking, meditation just means walking in nature. Just decide what style best fits for you. And I have a handout here on meditations. So I'm going to pop onto that, guys. Again, these handouts are all on the ProCare Health, ProCareNow.com website under Barry Connected and under handouts. So this one here, meditation, mindful exercises, I have a few of them here. This originally was done. It was used for one of my other support groups, traditional and non-traditional ways to support healing and manage pain. So that's why it's kind of listed as such. But we're going to talk about the first one, nothingness, okay? And this one I named it Train Stop Utopia. So if you're with me here and you'd like to do this exercise, just kind of like, you're welcome if you're able to close your eyes. If you can't, if you're driving or walking and you can't do that, that's totally okay. But it's just about a way of finding yourself a way a little bit more to be relaxed. And so just kind of take a deep breath in, kind of count in to 4 and relax out to 4. So breathe in, 1, 2, 3, 4. Breathe out, 1, 2, 3, 4. Breathe in, 1, 2, 3, and 4. And breathe out, 1, 2, 3, and 4. And imagine being in a train station. Place yourself and all your thoughts into one of the busy train cars. And the people on the train represent your thoughts. Allow the train to make stops, and at each stop, passengers exit. So do your thoughts. So what we're going to do is we see our train going, and we're going to stop that train right where it is, okay? And just kind of breathe in and breathe out. And as you're breathing out, see some of the passengers exit and see them as they go on their day, their busy day. Those are your thoughts exiting. So your mind is getting clearer and clearer with less thoughts. And the train starts back up again, and it goes a little further down the road. The train stops again, and as the train stops, you can see more and more people getting out, and those represent your thoughts as well. Just kind of breathe out and just relax. We're going to allow the train to go a little further. And at this next stop, we're going to let all of those passengers, all of them exit back out. So this time, as the train stops, breathe in, breathe out, and see all of the passengers exit. Now just feel into that and see how that feels to be alone on the train and just to be there in that place of peace. Kind of just bask there just for a second. Okay, wonderful. Jessica says there's ambient swim on Max if you like newer, more trippier meditation style. Oh, I'll have to check that out. I'm not familiar. Where is on Max? Where is Max? I'm not familiar with that. Let us know. I'm all up to trying new things. Here's the next one. This is called Nothingness, Stability of the Square. Oh, HBO. Thank you. You know what? I think I did watch, actually Netflix has a whole series too on meditation, which I kind of started watching. I haven't finished it yet, but thank you for sharing that. I have to check that out. Okay, next we're going to do one more little thing here. So we're going to do called Stability of the Square. So what I want you to do is just kind of do that same thing. Just kind of take another deep breath in, let it out. Relax your body, and we're going to concentrate and focus on your breath and envision a square in your mind, okay? So use your in-breath to trace the top of the square, the out-breath to trace the side of the square, the in-breath to trace the bottom of the square, and the out-breath to trace the other side of the square, completing the cycle. Let's try it again. So use your in-breath to trace the top of a square, the out-breath to trace the side of the square, the in-breath to trace the bottom of the square, and the out-breath to trace the bottom of the square. How do you guys feel? Was that helpful? So those are just 2 little simple exercises. Okay, and we're going to go back to our presentation, and we're going to switch to talk a little bit about aromatherapy. So I think that almost so many different things can actually alter your energy. It's like an influence. Lovey says, I like the train better than the square. Yeah, there's also one that you can do with balloons, and it's just basically like envisioning that you have a handful of balloons, and as you breathe in, you see the balloons nice and full and on strings that you're holding, and then as you let out, you release a couple of the balloons, and then you breathe in, and you see the balloons that are left, and you breathe out and you release some more balloons, and you keep doing that until you have no more balloons. And it's kind of like those balloons representing your thoughts. Oh, Marlene, no problem at all. If your battery is dying, you disappear. It's okay. So let me also tell you guys, this is on replay, so please make sure and come back if you decide you'd like to listen to this again. Come back, and we'll be on replay. Probably just about within 5 minutes after the event is completed, it'll be on replay. Okay, so aromatherapy is one of those things. It can help act on the central nervous system. And so I call it's a form of energy that just like many other therapies, it can help alter or influence your energy system. It helps with relieving depression, anxiety, stress. It can be sedating or stimulating, and can help with emotions and with the physical body, and also your mental body. So lots of different ways that it can be helpful. And so basically, what I want to say, sorry guys, I'm getting little pop-ups here. You can use, what I would recommend is inhalation with this, or you can actually place it on your body. Okay, so you can put it on your wrist or behind your ears. Some essential oils are used a little better with like an oil along with it, to help dilute it a little bit. Some you can use just directly onto your body, and some you can just smell. So it helps with those hormones that we talked about earlier, serotonin and dopamine, and basically just is basically help to influence your vibe. We're gonna say some other things too that I don't have listed on here, guys, are sound therapy. Sound therapy can do the same thing. Stones. Some people resonate really well with stones, and different forms of stones can alter these same things. So I just am kind of putting some extra things out here. Some things that are especially helpful for mood can be lavender, rose, lemon, orange, sweet basil, and patchouli. So all of those, it looks like Enid said, I use calming blend from doTERRA. Yes. And I'm sure that that's like a blend that has like some of these same things in it. Just helps like relax your nervous system, helps keep those thoughts from like circling. So thanks guys for sharing. And so journaling is the next thing. And so, Dorothy says I use lavender in my bath water. Yeah, like taking a long warm bath is something you can actually do for yourself. And we're talking about self-care here. So like something that is just for you to love yourself more. Journaling. And journaling to me is helpful. Like sometimes I'm going to show you guys here, actually have notebooks of different things that I keep myself, that I will sometimes just start writing in whenever I find myself like in a place that I need to think about something a little more strongly. Sometimes it helps to like write down your thoughts. Like let's say you're considering writing in, like let's say you're thinking about starting a new job. And so maybe you want to write down the pros and cons, or maybe you want to know what you want to create in your life. I know whenever I was looking for this job that I'm working at now, I wrote down every single thing that I wanted in my job. like being really, really mindful, you know, like what I wanted my pay to be, who I wanted my coworkers to be, who the people I wanted to be around, people like you, that you were in that journal. Um, I wrote down the things that, you know, were important to me, like time freedom, you know, and working remote now is part of that. So everything that I wrote down, guys, has come to fruition. Like all of those things. And you know, if it's in heart resonance, guys, it's there meant for you. Like those are the things that God is putting in your heart to want to come to fruition. So, you know, sometimes writing down things can be as simple as like organizing your life. Gratitude, like the things that you're grateful for. For me, in the mornings, a lot of times I'll sit in bed and I'll just think about all the things I'm grateful for. It's a great way to like alter your heart, to make your day go a little smoother. And setting your intention, we talked about that for your everyday activities. Resolution of perceived problems through journaling. So I talked about that, you know, listing the things that that make a difference. And I know too, Odessa says, you know, things, doing yoga and taking a walk. And actually, that's my next slide. You were reading my mind. So, you know, finding things you enjoy. Yoga is one of those things. When we're talking about the body's energy system, yoga is right up there as number one. Like moving around, that is something that opens up those pathways, those energy centers that allow us to experience less pain, to experience less depression, more flexibility, can help you lose weight, you know, all of these things. So finding movement, a walk. A walk can be amazing because you are like, you're like grounding with this place that you are here. Like you're embodying yourself. You are finding yourself here on earth as a person here, and you're claiming that, guys. You're finding all of these things that are around you, you know, the sunshine, the trees, the leaves. All of nature has its own resonance and it has its own frequency. And when you're around that, it starts influencing you. It helps you to become more of who you are because you are part of all of that. I hope that makes sense, and I hope that's not too woo-woo for you. But to me, it can be a great way to release negativity, to to find some peace. And I know my sister Susan, she's been a runner ever since high school, and she said she tells her kids all the time. Her kids are all in college now except for one. She said they'll call me sometimes and stressed out, and she said I always tell them, go take a walk outside or go take a run. And she lives by that. And I know I find myself on days that I'm maybe a little bit more stressed out, finding time just outside will help me out so much. Oh, I also want to mention, sometimes you can do little challenges like counting your steps with friends. There is something called Step Bet, like STEPBET. It's an app that you can actually challenge yourself amongst other people. I did one with the Barry Nation crew. If any of you are here from Barry Nation, please say hi. And they're doing a step bit challenge right now, I believe. I didn't get in on this one. I was too afraid. I was traveling so much. It's hard to make sure I am doing everything that I can be doing. Hey, Michelle. Oh, you're from Barry Nation. Wonderful. Great. It's a great community. Love Barry Nation. And so, you know, also with nature, we can soak up some of that vitamin D, the sunshine, by taking off your shoes if you're able to. You know, I understand that's not always possible if you're walking on concrete or whatever, but it can help. Those electrical charges from the earth can actually influence your body. Believe it or not, there's been lots of research done on it, and can have a positive influence on you. So find your happy place. And my other Michelle asked, is Barry Nation an app? Barry Nation is actually a community that you can find online. It's a community where people like-minded who've had bariatric surgery or thinking of bariatric surgery can join. They have these kind of programs daily in their archives. They have dietitians, doctors, nurses, therapists, all kinds of people in there. So yeah, check that out. I'll actually show you. I'm going to stop sharing here for just a hot second, and I'll go to our website because I don't want to forget these things. It's so important to have community. So if you go to the ProCare Health website, actually Berry Nation is considered one of our partner programs, and we actually have all kinds of partner programs here. If you go under Berry Connected and then partner programs, Berry Nation is listed there, and we actually have a special little promo with them. So if you go there, look that up. We offer a 4-week trial. 90-day subscribers, a 4-week trial plus a discounted rate of $29. So if you're on a subscription for 90 days of ProCare products, you can actually get that after the 4-week trial for $29. So more to come on that. I don't know if everything is hooked up with this here, but be prepared to be on the lookout for more of that. We actually have Berry Nation founders, Natalie and April, on our call for next month, and they're going to be joining me on one of these live events, so be watching for that. We also have other partner programs under this partner program tab. We also have the Tribe. Jamie Mills, she was on a live event with me today. Her event is on replay at Play. I'll show you how to get to that. We have Bariatric Care. It's an aftercare program by Dr. Connie Stapleton. We also have Reshape Care, who we've partnered with. Each of these you can click on the Learn More button, and Banana Bariatrics, which is a wonderful aftercare program as well. So lots of great communities out there, guys. And if you're looking for how to find these events on an upcoming basis, like our events, I'm going to keep going with our program, but I do want to show you our events are always listed under Berry Connected on our website. And they're listed under right here where it says weekly events. Sometimes it takes it a second to pop up. So Mabel's event is on replay right now, and Jamie's event for this month is on replay, and the next week we'll have Jill's. And then each month, as the month changes, you'll see the next month, you'll see October's coming up soon, and then today's support group. And then guys, our podcast is called Berry Connected. So any of these events, if you're more of a listening kind of person and you like to listen while you're on the go, I listen to podcasts all the time in my car. We're now on all the major podcast stations under Berry Connected, BARI space Connected podcast. So all of these go on there. They're usually on that and our YouTube channel, which you can access that by just clicking on YouTube and our YouTube channel. Sorry, I'm getting a little off track here, but I like to show you while I am in sync, is under the ProCare Health Vitamins and Supplements page. And when you get there, we actually have over 174 videos on that page. Feel free to check that out as well. Press the subscribe button, should be somewhere up here, and you'll get notifications of when we add new videos there too as well. So I'm going to stop sharing. I want to go back. I just want to make sure I didn't miss anything. Okay, it looks like Charity also and Jesse are also parts of that and of Berry Nation. So thank you for being part. So because we do list our events, the ProCare events, on the Berry Nation app. And Brandy says, I apologize, I have to pick up my kids. Make it back in time. Yes, so come back for the replay. So I'm going to keep going, guys. We're almost done. I'm going to pop back on to share my screen, and we're going to go back up to our presentation for today. We're going to talk a little bit about sleep. And guys, I never realized how important sleep is. Like before I was in bariatric care, I had no idea. So surgeons many times will test people for sleep apnea before weight loss surgery because it does make a difference on your weight loss journey, guys. It makes a huge difference. You know, if you are having sleep problems, like let's say sleep apnea, maybe you're having restless leg problems, maybe you're having leg cramps, maybe you're having snoring, I don't know. Make sure and talk to a health professional if you feel like that's the thing to do. There's also things you can do yourself. If you are having snoring problems, obviously there's positioning, like you can lay on your side or elevate your head of your bed. Put yourself on a sleep schedule, meaning like actually go to bed at the same time each day. Put all electronics away. And I think this was the most life-changing thing for me. My husband was about ready to kill me because he used to love watching TV in our bedroom. I took our TV, I moved it out of our bedroom. I took my computer out of our bedroom. I will not allow my phone in the bedroom unless I set my alarm clock, and I do not check social media or do any of that. It makes a night and day difference, guys. I'm not kidding. Those things put out certain frequencies and vibrations, and even if they're turned off, you may be picking those up and they may be keeping you awake. Also, natural sleep aids may be helpful, like things like melatonin, valerian root, magnesium with vitamin D. Those things have been known to be helpful for sleep. Anybody else have any sleep helpful issues? Music. Oh, that's a good one. A good question. Okay. Okay, so let's see. The 3 habits video, it says I checked YouTube and it's not posted. I'll check on that here in a second and I'll try to answer that question. Maggie says, what about music? You know what? I find by listening to certain kinds of music, it can help me sleep. Sometimes, especially if I'm laying next to someone that's snoring. I was in a hotel room with some family one night, and I put on my sister's, like, it's amazing and life-changing if you just put on your plug in your phone, your phone, and put on your earphones and listen to YouTube meditation music. It blocks out the snoring noises. Because I did not bring earplugs along. So meditation music can definitely be helpful. Make sure it's the right tones, though, because some tones may not set well with you and may keep you more awake. So make sure it's tones that, may help you with your sleep. I'm actually going to check on the habits. That was Mabel's. It should be... Let's look here real quick. Mabel's is actually listed here. It should be listed on the YouTube channel. If not, it's possible I have people that post those for me. Maybe I'm seeing it because it's already been listed on my channel, but it may be set up to be listed on yours. It says it's showing views though, so it should be. If not, check again tomorrow. It should be there tomorrow, but her event is also still on demand until the end of the month. Any of those events that are listed on our website are always on demand until the end. So hopefully I answered your question on that. Pop back on the presentation, and we're going to talk about promoting brain health. So by what you put in your body. So the human gut and the microbes that are in your GI system can act like a second brain. I had never heard that until recently. My son, he had some issues with the post-COVID stuff, and he was having a lot of brain fog. And he went to see a doctor, and the doctor was talking about this, and I was like, oh, this is so interesting. But he was talking about, your stomach is processing so many different things, but it also affects your thinking. I never had heard that before. But if by reducing foods that are processed or high in sugar, taking prebiotics or probiotics, or fermented foods like yogurt and that type of thing can help. If you have food intolerances, maybe checking with that. That can affect these can affect your thinking, like brain fog, which also affect your mental health. Eating more fruits and vegetables. All of these things, when we're talking about fruits and vegetables, they're whole foods. They come directly from the earth, and we were talking about the earth having a vibe, having a vibration and a frequency. And whenever you get those whole frequencies, like by eating whole foods, maybe it's in the colors they are, by maybe red peppers or green peppers or spinach that's really green, you're getting a certain energy from that. Also, consuming a high fiber diet can be helpful. It helps move things through your system even more quickly than like keeping them stuck, making you feel bloated. And obviously, taking your vitamins and supplements can affect, your energy levels. It can affect your health as far as your thinking, helping you think more clearly and keeping hydrated. So we're going to be kind of moving on, and we are sponsored by a vitamin company, so I'll kind of show you some different things, some ideas here in just a minute, maybe to help with if you're not currently taking bariatric vitamins and you want to be taking them. There might be some suggestions I have for you on that. Also, staying connected. I mentioned all of these different places earlier. Berry Connected is who we are, but I mentioned Berry Nation, Reshape, the Tribe, Banana Bariatrics, and support groups, like just support groups. Support groups can be, you can subscribe to some. They may be paid versions. They may be free versions. Community events, things like some of the events, the bariatric events coming up. This coming up week is the Obesity Action Coalition event that is in Florida. Then following week after that is the Just Be You Awards. These are all events that you guys, if you go to, you find community. Community can just be helpful for our body and soul. People that understand you, your people that know. And podcast. There's lots of podcasts out there. I mentioned Berry Connected, but there's lots of other ones too. Find what resonates with your heart. Find what does you good. And then spend time. If you need help, guys, get help. Find a professional. Find someone who is able to help you, whether it's a health professional like that deals every day, like a doctor, or maybe a coach. People can be helped with addictions, managing chronic illnesses, all of that. So, sometimes just seeing things from a different perspective has helped me. Like whenever I'm talking to somebody and they've helped me see things in a different way. And I'm going to look, it looks like we got some new comments here. Whoops. Okay. Whoops. Sorry, guys. I'm trying to get to my chat. Okay, guys. Closing out my chat here just so I can finish out. I know we're at time. And I am, again, stay very connected on the ProCare Health website, www.procarenow.com. If you go there, again, up here, ProCare Health, Berry Connected. And then also, if you're wanting a free sample of some of our vitamins, you can click here. If you've never tried ProCare, try ProCare, guys. If you click there, you're going to... they'll send you all kinds of free stuff. If there's something specific that you're wanting to try, you can add it in the message system, and if they can, they'll try to send that specifically for you. Some of my favorite things are bariatric multivitamins. That's what we're mainly known for, guys. Bariatric multivitamins and our calcium supplements. Some of the cheapest out there in the market, a 90-day supply for only $39.99. If you want to just buy it month to month, $11.99. So really, really inexpensive. I'm going to stop sharing. I'm going to go here to the chat. And Michelle says she likes wind chimes. Yeah. I actually had wind chimes up by my bedroom, and they were so loud I had to take them down. I'm like, I like the sound of them, but they were keeping me awake. Okay. Oh, and you found the Changes for Habits. It was by Mabel, the Mindset Coach. But thank you, guys. Thank you all. And I appreciate all of you for being here. Keep joining us. We have these every single month. Usually it's on the third Thursday of the month for these support groups. But we also offer live events every week. Almost every week, except for when traveling or there's something else going on. Let me just make sure there's no questions to be answered under our Q&A. It looks like we're good. So I just want to wish each of you a happy and healthy evening. Keep your mindset up there. Love you all and take care. Have a great evening. Bye, everybody.